You are great at decision making, strategic planning, and relentless execution. And there is something else knocking from within. Precious life force wanting to be unlocked to catalyze even greater possibilities. Welcome to the Hbj Journey Podcast. I am your host, Florencia Maggi, and my invitation is to make space to dive deep into all aspects of the inner transformation required to create businesses and lives aligned with inner-driven values and your essence and authenticity, to grow and prosper from within, and to show up at your highest possibility in your business and life. The conversation starts now. Welcome to the first episode of the Hbj Journey Podcast. Today, I would like to talk about the hero's journey as a framework for our inner work of transformation. And I want to talk about this because I have found for myself that understanding the transformational process in a deeper way has helped me to navigate the journey with more ease. Having a better understanding of where I am in the process has helped me to relax into the process and to trust the process. And this brings a sense of confidence in the process, and confidence in myself. And to get started and set the mood, I would love to share a quote from Joseph Campbell. This is the quote: "A good life is one hero's journey after another. Over and over again, you are called to the realm of adventure. You are called to new horizons. Each time, there is the same problem. Do I dare? And then, if you do dare, the dangers are there, and the help also, and the fulfillment or the fiasco. There's always the possibility of a fiasco, but there's also the possibility of bliss." Joseph Campbell. I love this quote. I have been in several hero's journeys, and each one of them brought transformation and new possibilities to my life. And I experienced some fiascos along the way as well, and all fiascos came with gifts, because they were opportunities to learn. And when we truly want to learn, absolutely everything is for learning. And in that way, fiascos are also incredible gifts. The hero's journey also shows us that transformation is not linear. It is a cyclical process, a continuous dance between the known and the unknown, the old and the new, moving from comfort to discomfort. And if we give ourselves to the adventure fully, we can emerge stronger, wiser, and more empowered. And also with much more energy, clarity, and a greater sense of direction for our lives. Let's go over the hero's journey. The first stage is the end of normal. Something is dying, and at the same time, something is being born. The old normal is no longer working or good for us, and this is disorienting and might bring with it a sense of loss and grief. This end of normal brings with it a call to adventure, an invitation, and you need to see how this is happening in your life, how life is calling you to an adventure. Are you being called to something new in your professional, business, or relational life? Are you being called to let what's dying die for the birth of a new self? In Joseph Campbell's words, you need to let go of the life you thought you would have for the one that's waiting for you. And this is epic. And because of the epicness of what it is asked of us, after the call comes the refusal of the call. We might initially resist the call out of fear, uncertainty, or a sense of inadequacy. The refusal represents the internal conflict about leaving the familiar world. And if there is resistance, there is perhaps suffering, because normally resistance produces suffering. They go together. When we are uncomfortable or unsatisfied about any area of our lives, we might be resisting a call to adventure. And it is good to know that after the refusal comes the supernatural aid. A mentor or guide appears, offering tools, support, and advice. This assistance is to help the hero prepare for the next step. The next step is the crossing of the first threshold. The hero here commits to the adventure, crossing from the ordinary world into the unknown. And this is a moment of no return, where the hero is truly on their path of transformation. And now comes the second stage of the journey, and this is the initiation. the initiation in the roads of trials, where we are going to face our fears, our pains, our demons, and inner blocks. This is a passage of darkness and death. It's not a field trip, and at the same time, if we give ourselves to the journey, there is potential of glorious transformation to emerge. And the third and last stage is the return, when we come back to the world, to share the gift of our journey and to inspire others to go on their hero's journey as well. Each of these three main stages contain phases and challenges, and I find every single phase of the journey fascinating. And today I would love to talk about two aspects of the second stage, because I find them particularly uncomfortable, difficult, and challenging. They are sometimes called the belly of the whale and the ordeal. And I want to talk about these phases because, in my experience, is where I do need the most encouragement, guidance, company, and support. Because this is where we confront our deepest fears and repressed parts of ourselves, where the old self is tested, exposed, and eventually transcended. The belly of the whale represents the moment when we enter the unknown, space that feels dark, uncertain, and often isolating. It is a necessary step towards transformation, where we must let go of our old identity and confront deep transformational change. This is a process of rebirth. The hero is submerged in the unknown, forced to face internal fears, doubts, and vulnerabilities. It's where the old sense of self begins to dissolve and starts to die, opening up the way for something new to emerge. And next comes the ordeal, which is the moment of greatest challenge, a great test where we confront our darkest fears or experience a deep crisis that shakes our sense of self, who we believe we are, what we believe about life, and what's possible for us. It could be an inner battle with self-doubt, guilt, shame, intense fear, and the sense of non-possibility. And it is through this ordeal that we are transformed. The hero's victory is about shedding the old ways of being and emerging with a new sense of purpose, strength, and clarity. In the belly of the whale and during the ordeal is where the magic of transformation happens. These stages force us to leave behind the limitations that once held us back and embrace a more powerful, integrated version of who we are becoming. My experience of facing fears and trauma is that each round is a new beginning, and there is resistance to the call each single time, because the particular fear, trauma, or emotional pain that it is now up for transformation has no memory of anything other than its contracted state, and somehow fights to stay contracted. And the reason why I want to talk about these aspects of the transformational process is because I believe that if we bring the resistance and the fear to the light by talking about them, normalizing them, and making space for them, we can relax a bit into the feeling that it is okay to feel all this resistance and fear. They are just part of the process. And when we make space and give permission to whatever is going on within us and relax into the process, this relaxation creates space. And in this way, we are facilitating our own transformational process, trusting its ways and its timing. In my experience, one of the greatest benefits of understanding the transformational process is that I can be more at ease. And I can stop the mind when it fixates on interpretations that are out of sync with the process. For example, if left unchecked, my mind would insist on narratives such as, "You are not where you should be right now." Thoughts like this, that are not true, not helpful, and consuming precious bandwidth and life force. And talking about life force, in my experience, there's nothing more liberating of life force than facing my deepest fears and emotional baggage. And this is where I feel that the transformational journey becomes the most practical way of navigating life that I know of. And I love being efficient. When we transform fear, trauma, and unresolved emotions, we liberate life force that has been trapped in fear and trauma. And we can place this newly available life force in service to life. This is like having extra energy for whatever we want to grow and expand. Our visions, creative projects, career, businesses, relationships, This is when we flourish and thrive from within. Actually, I have been thinking about launching a podcast for a while. It was something that I wanted to do, and I feel that the energy for this launching became available for me after a significant release of deep fear. Some days ago, I completed a week-long program on being trauma-informed for coaches and consultants. This was actually part of a year-long training led by Thomas Hubble and Amy Elizabeth Fox. The program was truly powerful, and as a participant, I had the opportunity to process deep fears and to liberate life force, pure energy as I processed those fears. And after that, the energy for launching this podcast became available, and the theme for this first conversation became clear. And this is how, in very practical terms, I use the transformational process to evolve my life, all aspects of my life, my projects, offerings, services, and all my relationships. And I would like to leave you with these questions. Where are you in your hero's journey right now? What call to adventure are you resisting? What inner demons and blockages do you need to face? And please remember to bring the joy of the hummingbird to your journey. You are invited to join the conversation by leaving your comments on our website, hummingbirdjourney.co, and you can also find me on LinkedIn, and I will be happy to connect.